Lax Sports Network is proud to present the Crown Lacrosse Classic. Today from outside Charlotte, North Carolina, Game 1 features a top 10 Division II showdown. The 10th-ranked Lenoir-Rhyne Bears taking on the #1 Limestone Saints. What's going on, everybody? Alongside Brendan McDaniels, I'm Travis Eldridge. What a day of lacrosse we have for you here on LSN. It starts with a really good one here in Division II. Limestone, one of the perennial powers in this division, but Lenoir-Rhyne coming off a huge win last week.
Absolutely huge. They beat Adelphi 17-16. One of the biggest wins outside their win a couple years ago against #1 Limestone. This is going to be a high-scoring, fast-paced game today.
For the Bears, the guy you got to watch is Miles Moffitt on this offense. Scored 5 goals a couple years ago in an upset win over Limestone.
Yeah, he's an outstanding player. He had some injury problems last season, but he came back with a vengeance this year. 5 goals in the opener against Young Harris, 3 goals, 2 assists in that big win against Adelphi. He is a smart player. He's got a nose for the goal, but he's also great at dishing the ball and seeing his teammates and setting them up. A truly dynamic talent.
On the other side of things, if you haven't seen LARSON SUNDOWN of Limestone play yet, you're going to enjoy watching him today. Scored 10 goals in a win last week.
Wasn't even a program record, but he did have a program record 12 points because he had 2 assists in that game. Just an unbelievable lacrosse player. He'll remind you a lot of Lyle Thompson. Great field vision, amazing goals. This kid can basically do everything on the lacrosse field.
And so Sundown going up against the starting goalie for Lenoir-Rhyne, Noah Johnson. We will see most likely 2 different goalies for the Bears today. We'll most likely see Noah Lally as well. The 2 of them splitting time throughout this year. Johnson with the goals against average just over 11 so far this season. On the Limestone side of things, it's Gary Cutler getting the start for the Saints. A goals against average under 10. The redshirt sophomore from Southfield, Michigan. A transfer from Madonna University, an NAIA school, redshirted last season, but stepping in to the starting role this year.
Yeah, we mentioned this in the beginning. Look at this to be a fast-paced game. Don't be surprised if you see a lot of goals scored. Noah Johnson gave up 12 goals last week. Cutler had a really good game, but he did give up some goals against St. Leo as well. So this could be a fun matchup. It's beautiful, 62 degrees and sunny this afternoon, or just say this morning still, but it's going to be a fun game.
We are off and running for the Crown Lacrosse Classic just outside Charlotte, North Carolina. William Amos Huff High School, the spot in Cornelius, North Carolina, as Limestone gets the opening possession. Streaking down the alley, our first look at Dorian Faster, part of the starting midfield unit for the Saints. Here on the run, an early save from Johnson.
Yeah, Tyler Papa was able to dodge that alley on the left side and get that shot off, but a nice save by Johnson. That's going to be important for Johnson to get off to a fast start because this is a Limestone team that will come out and continually attack you. They shot 51 times last week against St. Leo.
Here is Papa, along with Sundown, the guy to watch in the offense here for the Saints. Another one off of the helmet of Johnson. Another good look for the Saints. And they keep possession with a fresh 80-second shot clock. Here is Sundown starting things from X. Working his way around. Nice pass. We've got a whistle, I believe. And we're going the other way.
Yeah, looks like there's a crease violation on the back end. So cut out that goal, but it was a beautiful feed by LARSON SUNDOWN. And we mentioned that just a moment ago. He's really known for his goal scoring. I mean, he put up 70 goals last season, but he also had 40 assists as well. I mean, this is a guy that can score and he can feed as well. And we talked about his field vision. That's one of the keys to his game. He sees things before it happens. And that's such a unique perspective to have from such a young guy.
Here's Will CANATA, one of the starting midfielders for the Bears, joined by Chris BRITTON and TORON ECCLESTON in the midfield for Lenoir-Rhyne. On the far side, a high rip and a score. It's BRITTON getting the Bears on the board first. That was a laser.
Yeah, that was a rocket coming over from that left wing side. And Chris BRITTON, the redshirt junior from Vero Beach, Florida, just had a nice little opening. His defender played off of him a little bit. He was able to get his hands ready to wind up. Take a look at this one again. You see the defender's playing him upfield and basically allowing him to wind up and take that shot. And for Cutler, he just didn't really take a look at that at all. Like, he was in position, and that shot just came so fast from that wing. He didn't even have a chance to react to it.
Coming off a season best, 2 goals against Adelphi. This midfield unit came up with a bunch of goals in the upset win last week over the then number 2 ranked team in the country. And Lenoir-Rhyne, a face-off victory here and a chance to go back to work offensively. Here's Eccleston, part of that starting first midfield unit. At attack, you got Miles Moffitt, Edward Tate, and Eric Dickinson. Good pass, another shot just a little high there. That time from Bowen Collins.
Yeah, Collins had the same exact look that Britton had just a moment ago, but it's a little bit high on that shot, but they're finding a nice little opening on that left wing.
BRYCE REECE on the run, he gets one to go. The high heat working early, it's 2-0 Bears.
Keep going to the well if it's working for you. 3 straight shots from the same exact point. They got 2 goals on 3 shots out of that same exact play. Take a look at it again. Here's Reese, comes down. Same defender once again that they beat on that play, and that's a matchup that they're going to continue to exploit if they continue to see them coming out. That's Trent Kellner. He's been on that side three different times against 3 different players. Same shot 3 times, 2 goals.
Back at the face-off X continues to be Dakota Kirsch Downs here for Limestone, battling against Noah Flash. Limestone, a team that will go back and forth between their face-off guys, between Christopher Parrott and Kirsch Downs. A violation here on Kirsch Downs. He went early, so another Lenoir-Rhyne possession.
Back-to-back violations, and Lenoir-Rhyne gets the ball the 3rd time in a row. Let's see if they try to exploit that matchup on the left side again.
Lenoir-Rhyne team coming into the game 4-1 on the season. Dickinson goes down the near side alley. Looking to strike early, a shot off the helmet of Cutler.
Yeah, that was Moffitt that came screaming down the side.
And how about the schedule for Lenoir-Rhyne, testing yourself here in early February? You beat number 2 last week, and now you play the number 1 team in the country, and they are rolling. It's Will CANATA.
That time they go middle and get the same result, but you see each one of these shots is high. You see early on, that's what they said. Try to go against Cutler high. Gets by his defender, gets a little bit of opening, takes that side shot, but it goes high. Take a look at that again. Look at that. Beautiful shot. He just had that little bit of a stutter to freeze the defense so the slide didn't come over, kept that alley wide open for the shot.
An impressive start here for the Bears. They're up 3-1. This one won back by Flash, and a ground ball scooped up by Mitchell Linklater. Described to us by head coach Greg Paradine of Lenoir-Rhyne as one of the top 3 fastest guys in Division II.
Well, he's one of the many Canadians that they have on this roster, and those guys you see, because when they come from the indoor game, they've got a lot of speed and they know how to work in tight spots.
But that ball poked away on the far side by Limestone, a caused turnover, and the Saints will get possession. Able to get it over midfield, and the Saints a chance to answer here, down 3-0 early.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise. We thought it was going to be high scoring and fast paced. I didn't imagine that Lenoir-Rhyne would come out this quickly against a very good Limestone defense.
Both coaches said to us, though, expect this to be a high-scoring, fast-paced game. Not many shot clock violations to expect this morning between these two.
No, these are 2 teams that don't hesitate when they have openings to shoot.
This is Walter, the midfielder, working his way, has it taken away, but Clark Walter regains it, part of the first midfield unit for the Saints. Extra pass in front, a save by Johnson.
Nice save by Johnson. Larson with a beautiful backdoor cut and had an opening at the goal. Was shut down quickly by Johnson.
Quickly the other way. The Bears can go fast if they like. Instead, it's Eric Dickinson that'll settle things down. Coming into the game tied for 6th in the country in points per game, averaging over 6 a contest.
Yeah, he's a local guy from right here in Charlotte. Big-bodied offensive player. They really like him a lot.
Coming out of the box, it's CANATA. Pass back across. Another high shot. BRITTON just a little too high.
But you see, they continue to attack high. They've looked at the film, and they said, where we're going to beat Gary Cutler is by going high on him.
In a lot of this first midfield unit so far in the early going. BRITTON. Now Edward Tate. Two-man game from BRITTON at X. Jump shot just high.
He didn't really have the greatest of angles on that shot either. Needed to come upfield a little bit more to get himself a better angle.
Miles Moffitt able to back it up. You see that big brace on the right knee. Missed last year all season with a season-ending injury on that knee. But as we mentioned in the open, part of a upset win over then #1 Limestone 2 years ago on the road. Scored 5 goals in that one, and back at it here is a shot clock violation. I said it in the last possession. We got our first shot clock violation.
And of course, as soon as you say that, we get a shot clock violation.
Exactly. Only took us about 6 minutes to get there.
But I'll go on a limb and say, if we have one more shot clock,
it'd be a surprise.
Yeah, it'll be a shock. But remember too, they had a shot. It was just off goal.
Right. Not for a lack of trying.
But this is an opportunity now for Limestone. They don't necessarily have to score on this possession, but they need to have a good offensive possession. They need to give everybody on the field a touch. Let everybody try to get in their rhythm.
Here's Mike Carpenter, joined by Sammy Thomaloris. Second midfield unit that includes Connor Grauer as well. Here's Thomaloris, gets his man to fall down, gets in front, and it gets stuck in Johnson's jersey. Whatever it takes, he kept it out.
Hey, that's an old indoor move. Get it in your equipment, you're good to go. We got a penalty on Lenoir-Rhyne. Let's check it out.
Got a technical foul. Black 11, hold 30 seconds. 11 black, hold 30.
The 30-second hold on Mitchell Linklater, the short stick defensive midfielder from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And I believe it comes right here on the...
I didn't see it right there. It was more behind the play, so it's a man-up opportunity for Limestone. A golden opportunity now to get on the board with a man advantage.
Man up offense has been stellar this year. 7 of 8. They're at 87% coming into this game. Papa spins. He's free, saved by Johnson.
Johnson has looked really good here off these first few shots here. Limestone's taken 5 shots, and Johnson has been there every single time.
A little more time on the man up here for Limestone. And we're back to even strength. Good defense there by Lenoir-Rhyne. Little help from Johnson to bail him out. Out of the box, another save from Johnson. He is dialed in early.
It really doesn't matter who shoots it. That time it was Clark Walter that came in and took the shot, and Johnson looked it away once again. That was great defense on the man up. They really packed it in. They were sliding to the ball. They weren't letting any openings come up on their defense.
But some trouble in the clear for Lenoir-Rhyne. Ends up back in the stick of the Saints. And it's Matthew Plank, the long pole, to bring it across midfield.
As we mentioned, for Limestone, you necessarily don't need a goal at this point, but you want to get good flow to your offense. You want to get everybody involved, get some movement, get some backdoor cuts going, get that ball around, move it back down to X, cycle it around, spin the defense out.
Here's Papa. Feeds in through traffic, and Sundown lost it.
He has a good job defensively. Connor Stanley, the defenseman, just got a little bit of the stick, just enough to dislodge that ball and disrupt the play.
But a caused turnover again. Limestone riding hard. And they get the ball back here as we inch past the midway point of this opening quarter. Papa. You getting downhill, and he gets one to go. The senior from Manlius, New York, has the Saints on the board.
Tyler Papa gets him on the board, and that was the benefit of that caused turnover where they got the ball back. Nice spin move inside, and Papa gets the defender on his hip right there. He really just fights it off. The double team comes just a shade late, but that is all Tyler Papa because the defense was right there, but he just kind of muscled that ball into the back of the net.
Entering the game, tied for 4th in the country in goals per game, averaging 4 per contest in this 4-0 start for the Saints. It's a team that won 20-1 last year, undefeated in the regular season, undefeated all the way until losing against Merrimack in the D2 National Championship game last year at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia.
Merrimack's final Division II game.
Yeah.
So I was actually there. I did the semifinal game against Lemoyne, where they came back and won that in dramatic fashion. But that was a great contest between Merrimack and Limestone.
Yeah, this is a Limestone program that has been the class of Division II, been to 5 of the last 6 national championship games. Here's Reese, who lost it through some traffic, but gets it back. Keeps possession here for the Bears. Bowen Collins dodging on the far side. Some troubles for Tate. But they keep possession. Just around 30 seconds left on this shot clock. Collins looking to get into the middle. Hands free. Shoots wide.
Collins had to fight off his defender just to get that shot on. It was not on goal, so the shot clock does not reset.
Reese to the top of the box, down to 12 on the shot clock. That one is saved.
Yeah, that one went right to Cutler's chest.
Little out of the crease. Cutler had to come to grab it, but able to corral.
Ooh, that's not
a risky
not
pass.
not a good clearing pass, especially when nobody's wide open.
Little dicey, but a ground ball pickup here by Growers. We have a flag down.
The Limestone will have an opportunity to go up on a man up once again.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, despite being 0 for 1 on the man up, this Limestone squad is quite efficient on the extra man so far this year. And this ground ball pickup will give us the flag.
So the flag was in the midfield, so it could be a slash or a hold.
Technical foul. Black 19. All sides, 30 seconds. 19 black.
Just an offsides call on Eccleston, the freshman from Calgary.
Player number 19, a 30-second technical for offsides.
Trying to ride hard, couldn't stop before he rolled over the midfield stripe.
Even when it's just that 1 foot over, they still got to call it.
Now we've got another whistle. I think it was just simply where to start this extra man opportunity. Now 7 of 9 on the season, Limestone.
Keep an eye on Sundown on this possession.
Shot high there from Clark Walter.
So they moved Sundown from X back up top in this man up. So see if they're designing something for him.
Here's Sundown to trigger from behind the cage.
He's going to rotate up to goal line extended.
Down on the doorstep. No shot off there. It was lost. Another penalty killed here for Lenoir-Rhyne as we're back to even strength, but LARSON Sundown goes back to win a ground ball.
Kesselring had a beautiful cut and just couldn't finish.
There's a great feed from Sundown as Clark Walter finishes. Back-to-back goals for the top-ranked team in the country. They're back within one.
So they can't, like they did on their first one, they can't convert on the extra man, but they convert right after it on that possession. Take a look at it again. Here's Sundown, goal line extended. Beautiful backdoor cut by Clark Walter. Had his defender beat by quite a bit. For Clark Walter, that's his 6th of the season. For Sundown, we mentioned that's the field vision that we talked about. He sees the field so well, and he almost knows when guys are going to get open before that happens.
The face-off X, we now see the senior Christopher Parrott.
Yeah, Parrott had 13 face-off wins against St. Leo, the other day.
And interesting, you rotate between him and Kirsch Downs. And in talking to Coach J.B. Clark, he goes, look, we give each of them 2 at a time. And then they just rotate throughout the game as Johnson comes up with another stop. He has been really good in this first quarter.
Yeah, he kind of just ride the hot hand. And Kirsch Downs went 14 of 18 at the X the other day against St. Leo. And so, you know, when a guy's really hot, you get him in there. And if he loses a face-off, you bring the other guy in, let him get hot until he loses one and bring him back and forth. And it's hard to get one good face-off guy, let alone 2 good face-off guys.
Astonishingly, both right around 69% on the year last year. They both were essentially identical in terms of face-off winning percentage. A really good duo to have for Limestone at the X.
And the great thing about it is they don't have egos. So they're okay with whoever's out there. They're just both guys that are good for the team, and that's a perfect scenario to have.
Working from X, shot wide there from Mason Parati. On the run, another shot just high from BRITTON. He has not been shy early.
Now he's been really teeing off so far, and all these shots have that common theme of going up high, except for that one that was low, but I think Parati hit his stick hit a little bit.
Mason.
See Chris Schiller in the background there with the coffee. Great ambassador for lacrosse down in the Carolinas.
Shot high, and it goes. It's CANATA, his 2nd. Lenoir-Rhyne back up 2.
They've scored 4 goals, or excuse me, 3 of their 4 goals from that same spot. Here's CANATA, and they continue to really work on Trent Kellner. When Kellner's in that position, they are shooting from that spot.
Matching his total all game against Adelphi last week. Those were his first 2 career goals last week. So now doubling that, a first-team All-State performer out of the state of North Carolina. Violation on Limestone, so the Bears to get possession.
Kirsch Downs not happy about that, and I think he might have a case for that too, because it didn't look like there's a procedure on there on him, and he kind of threw his hands up like, what did I do?
And that's his 3rd already in the first 13 minutes. So that's a 30-second penalty on Limestone. Excuse me, just a delay a game call.
Yeah, so as Travis mentioned, the 3rd face-off violation comes with a penalty. It's a golden opportunity for Lenoir-Rhyne late in this first quarter. They've had everything go right for them.
And notice Eric Dickinson just getting shut off here by Limestone. They're going to have anybody else beat him, and it backfired there on Lenoir-Rhyne because nobody to back up. And a chance to kill this penalty as the shot goes wide.
Yeah, Dickinson, their leading scorer, they were face guarding him right there. That's a great call, because as you see, it caused the turnover, and now Limestone can kill off this penalty.
4 seconds left to get this over midfield, and Limestone does, but has it taken away. Dickinson riding hard. And a great play here by the Bears to get possession.
Ethan Sack, give him credit right there, because he just did that little pop, and he was able to sneak his stick over midfield and bring that ball over onto his side of the field and pick it up and get possession back for his team.
Another fresh 80 seconds here for Lenoir-Rhyne to work. Under a minute to go in the first quarter. Shot wide there from BRYCE REECE.
This first quarter for Lenoir-Rhyne couldn't have gone better for them. They played really good, solid, sound defense. They got great goaltending from Johnson. They picked the spot on offense where they had an opening to score, and they kept attacking the same spot.
About a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock here at the end of the quarter. But if you're Lenoir-Rhyne, knowing how fast Limestone can strike the other way, you really would like to hold for one good opportunity here at the end of the quarter.
Yeah, this is a smart move by Lenoir-Rhyne, but you see Limestone pressuring them and forcing them into their offensive set.
Reese shoots just wide. See, dances through. Being pressured out, but he was a track star in high school, so a guy not unfamiliar with running away from people.
Dickinson's looking for a shot clock reset, but that wasn't even close to being on goal. Eric Dickinson, he had 5 points last week, 2 goals, 3 assists.
31 points on this season. He's tied for 6th in the country.
You can hear from the sideline, they keep yelling reset.
Not going to get it. 16 seconds left, 9 seconds of the shot clock. Here's Reese. Feeds down on the doorstep, shot to score. It's TORON ECCLESTON striking again, and Lenoir-Rhyne back up by 3.
Remember that point about a minute ago where I said this quarter couldn't have gone better for Lenoir-Rhyne? Yeah, and then some. Look at this. Look how open Eccleston is in the middle of the field. Cutler was way out of position for that, and an easy goal for the freshman from Alberta.
Give the assist to BRYCE REECE. A pretty feed there for the freshman. He's coming off a career best 4 points against Adelphi. And Lenoir-Rhyne, who had gone up 3-0, watch that lead dwindle down to 1, has gone back up by 3 as Limestone wins the ground ball here. And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. Fresh off a win over number 2, Lenoir-Rhyne looking to knock off number 1 here today. Start of the second quarter here from William Amos Huff High School just outside Charlotte, North Carolina. Lenoir-Rhyne, the 10th ranked team in Division II with a 5-2 lead over number 1 Limestone. Lenoir-Rhyne led by Greg Paradine in his 10th season. Was of course part of that 1991 North Carolina National Championship squad. Spent 7 years as a Tar Heels assistant, but now in his 10th season with this Bears program, has led it from a startup program when he took over to now a team that is contending with the top 10 teams in the country. Made that great breakout season back in 2018 where they made a run all the way to the NCAA semifinals. And you can tell now they are a team to be reckoned with in Division II.
Another procedure violation on Limestone. Another penalty comes out.
You'll be served by 3 threes. The third face-off violation, delay a game. 30 seconds.
And that's the rest of the half they're going to deal with this.
Yeah, so they're going to continue that every single time. But getting back to Coach, I mean, he was an outstanding player back in UNC. Like back in the old days, like that's back like the times that I played where we had the funky helmets and the big puffy gloves and whole 9 yards. But I mean, it's truly unique to start your own program. We've seen a lot of programs starting up over the last 10, 15 years, and you take your lumps the first couple of years, but he's done it the right way. And he said, I'm going to build this the way that I want to. We'll take our lumps for a few years, but I've got a vision, I've got an idea, and you've seen now what his vision was, and it's being executed now. his recruiting is outstanding. We talked about he's getting these kids from Canada. He's getting the upstate New York kids in the hotbeds of Syracuse, Rochester, those areas. He's also picking these kids up in the South. He's got some Georgia kids, some Texas kids, some North Carolina kids, and some Jersey kids. Like really, they've gone globally to recruit and have done a wonderful job building up this program into what has become a D2 power.
Lenoir-Rhyne here on the man up. Shot just wide there. A little bit of time to operate here. Down a couple more seconds on the extra man. And we're back to even strength. Bowen Collins, midfielder, brings it back out toward the middle. Another guy from North Carolina. And talking with Coach Paradine about, all right, what are you looking for in the recruiting process? He's like, we've been really successful in getting some of the best kids in the state. And I think that's really interesting. North Carolina continues to be a emerging hotbed of the sport, especially here around the Charlotte area. And he's done really well by getting some of the best players to stay around.
And that's the important thing with recruiting. Can you keep the local kids local? And especially like you think about it, you've got Duke to contend with, you've got North Carolina. I mean, you've got some studs at the D1 level that you've got to worry about. So the fact that he can get some of these really, really superstar Carolina's kids to come play for his program is absolutely huge.
He had a shot clock violation there. It gives it back to Limestone here early in the second quarter.
But that's also the blueprint of Mike Serino when he was with this Limestone program, and now at JB Clark.
Yep.
Keep those local kids, but see everybody. Make sure you are truly a national recruiting base, and I mean in these programs, international recruiting base with the Canadian kids.
Tyler Papa striking through and shoots just a little wide. And a loose ball push, so we'll get a shot clock reset as LARSON SUNDOWN will trigger things in here from the corner. Sundown in front. What a backhand shot there. Just a little wide from Stenard.
Yeah, Stenard just didn't have a good angle, but he wanted to get something on the goal, so he just kind of flipped that backwards and just wasn't able to connect on it.
Sundown gets in front, and he's got his first goal of the day. Already his 20th goal of the season in just his 5th game.
Yeah, he's making an assault on his already single season scoring record for Limestone. Take a look at it again, coming back from X. Gets great position, gets the defender on his hip to keep his hands free and open. And he goes right in there and he looks the goaltender right in the eyes and makes sure the goaltender's focused on him, and then he puts the ball behind his ear. Just a beautiful play. And LARSON SUNDOWN's another one of those guys. You talk about recruiting. This is a kid right here that from upstate New York, from the Buffalo area, not necessarily a huge hotbed of lacrosse, and he went to a small school in Akron High School, went to OCC, which is a junior college national power, was recruited by everybody. I mean, literally everybody recruited this kid, but JB Clark was able to convince him Limestone is the place where you need to go to advance your career.
Second in the country in goals per game, almost 5 per contest. Number 1 in the nation in points per game, averaging 8 per game coming into today. He's got 2 points so far on a goal and an assist. Face-off win here for Lenoir-Rhyne as Linklater, the short stick D-mini, quickly. And Lenoir-Rhyne answers in a hurry. It's Miles Moffitt.
That right there was textbook, face-off, fast break, odd man rush lacrosse right there by Lenoir-Rhyne. Pinpoint passing to get it down low to Moffitt, who's wide open for the goal. Look at that. And he ripped a laser at point blank range. Watch this. If you're Cutler, you're worried about your head getting cut off with that one. What a play.
Coming off that 5-point performance last week against Adelphi in the win over number 2. The freshman of the year a couple of seasons ago in the conference as well. As Kirsch Downs comes in and wins a faceoff for Limestone. This is a Saints team that averages over 20 goals per game. So give a lot of credit to this Bears defense so far, keeping them to 3 through about 18 minutes of action so far.
Yeah, the Bears, they've been aggressive, but they've also stayed packed in too. They're not allowing a lot of off-ball movement. Not a lot of those guys are getting open.
Tyler Papa shoots wide. Senior from Fayetteville Manlius High School outside of Syracuse, not shy in getting his shot off, coming in with 16 goals on the season.
I talk about building programs. Fayetteville Manlius out of the Syracuse area. I actually coached their youth program when I was in college at St. Bonaventure, and they had never played lacrosse before. And their goal, they said, we want to beat West Genesee, and everybody thought they were crazy. And 25 years later, they're one of the powers in upstate New York.
On the run, shooting high is faster.
Got paid $75 for an entire summer of coaching.
How
I thought I was
about
rich.
that? Those are the good old days.
Back in the days, you gotta love the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Now I'm dating myself too.
Sundown to trigger things in with just over 20 seconds left on this possession clock. Backhand shot, knocked down. It got all the way to the goalie, so a shot clock reset, but Limestone can't get the ground ball, and Johnson will look to clear.
Yeah, it's one of those sneaky shots that you'll see Sundown do quite a bit, and Johnson was keeping his eye on him the entire time.
Transition chance for the Bears, shooting wide, but no backup for Lenoir-Rhyne. They give it right back. Evan Torres was looking to go. Those are the shots you will see in this game. They not shy about going in transition, really, on either side. Though we haven't seen Limestone run quite as much as Lenoir-Rhyne so far this morning.
No, I'm a little surprised that we haven't seen Limestone push the tempo at all in this first half.
Get a look at number 55 in that Limestone white uniform, Grant Rogers, seeing some of his first action, the freshman from Columbus, Ohio. That one well wide from Mike Carpenter. Here is Sundown. So dangerous. Feeds the doorstep, pretty combination. He's got his man, Ethan Stenard, for another Limestone goal.
And that's a product of how dangerous LARSON Sundown is. All eyes are on Sundown, and nobody's watching the backside. See, Sundown, he's done, fake that pass quickly. Everybody looks over. Watch all the eyes on Sundown. The defender that was on Stenard was watching Sundown, not Stenard. That allowed Stenard to get back there and get open on the cut for the goal.
Ethan Stenard coming from the Everest Academy up north of the border. Freshman out of Ontario. That Everest Academy producing some really good talent. Team trying to compete with the Hill Academy up there in Canada as some of the best lacrosse programs in not only Canada, but all of North America.
Yeah, Brody Merrill's Hill Academy is one of the best in North America, not just in Canada. And same thing you talk about with like the West Genesees and the, the powers in the high school areas and these other up and coming ones trying to compete with them and starting to get on that level now.
Coming out of the box, it's Eric Dickinson. Step down shot, just high. That's something Coach Greg Paradine told us that the Bears would experiment with, is using Dickinson not only as a starting attackman, but also running him out of the box and getting some different looks from the top for him.
Yeah, and I love that idea because he's such a big body. And he gets such that big head of steam going. He can just rifle that shot coming down the alley dodging.
Here's Britton. Gets free off the post. And the loose ball scooped up by Limestone. We have a call, and it's a turnover for the Saints, back the other way.
Yeah, I didn't see what the call was.
Lenoir-Rhyne gets a possession here. Chance to settle things down once more.
Yeah, lost opportunity for Limestone because they were out. They're finally out and running, which we had talked about we hadn't seen yet.
Little two-man game, but his shot saved. Collins had a good look down the barrel for that one, but a stop by Cutler and a chance to clear for Limestone.
The Bears are getting a lot of good looks at the cage today.
Limestone brings it over midfield. And LARSON Sundown quickly going to get this one. You know he is always dangerous when the ball is in his stick. Connor Stanley drawing the assignment here. And Stanley pokes it away.
Yeah, just not a big poke, but just enough to get it off.
A whistle, and we'll get a timeout here for Limestone with just over 8 minutes to go in this second quarter.
Yeah, this is a good timeout here. The offense was looking a little bit sloppy. Get an opportunity here to reset. Let's run a play. We're down by 2. Let's get a good look at the cage. Let's get a good shot off. So they had their long pull. Jordan Storrs down there as well in the offensive end. You know, get him out, get some time, get him out of there, get your 6 out there that you want.
Back to action here with just under 30 seconds of the shot clock for Limestone. Papa on the run, shoots wide.
Seen a lot of these Limestone shots go wide. They're getting a barrel of steam and they just can't get the accuracy to get them on goal.
Sundown already with a couple of points today. Looks to get free into the middle. Feeds on the doorstep. Shot kicked away. Another save for Johnson, but a loose ball for Limestone. However, a whistle, and it will go back the other way.
Looked like we had an illegal pick on the backside.
Mason Parity, the sophomore from Houston, Texas. Number 5 in black jersey for Lenoir-Rhyne. Gets it back out to the top, and BRYCE REECE, who had 2 points in that first quarter. Now Dickinson. Feeds. Doorstep has it poked away. Big ground ball is won by Parity.
It was a trail check by Max Butler. Knocked the ball away. Otherwise, it was a golden scoring opportunity for Eccleston.
And the Bears want to take a timeout, talk things over, keep possession here. So we're under 7 minutes to go in this second quarter. Take a look at where both these teams stack up in the Division II men's media poll for the USILA. Limestone getting all but 4 first-place votes. Lemoyne coming in there with a couple of first-place votes, sitting at number 2 after Adelphi lost to this Lenoir-Rhyne program last week. Lenoir-Rhyne rising quickly with that win over number 2, came from I believe 18 all the way up to number 10, and looking really good, every bit the part of a top 10 team so far today.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they're looking like a top 5 team right now the way they're playing against this Limestone team, and they're pushing all the right buttons offensively and defensively. And you see, I mean, Limestone, I mean, overwhelming number 1 with Lemoyne tailing them, but I mean, there's some good teams in that top 5 or 6, but I mean, just watching Lenoir-Rhyne today live, I mean, this team is good. I mean, they are definitely a top 10 team, a top probably 5 or 6 team at this point in the season with the way that they're playing.
And I thought it was interesting in talking with Coach Paradine for the Bears. He said when they lost to Belmont Abbey a couple of weeks ago, 12-7 on the road, really caused them to kind of look at their roster and see where they could change some things. They got some of the freshmen more involved, especially in the midfield. We've seen CANATA with a couple of goals already, Eccleston with a goal, and Reece with 2 points. All three of them freshmen in the midfield who are starting to see more time, and that has been a nice success story for this offense.
And a lot of times for coaches, sometimes you're reluctant to play your freshmen, even though you know how good they are, and they might be better than some of your upperclassmen, but your upperclassmen are battle-tested, like they've been in it, they know it. But sometimes when you realize, you get to a point, you're like, you know what? These guys are way too good to keep on the sideline. We got to find a way to get them on the field. And then you get them on the field, and then they perform better than you expected. I mean, it's a huge win-win for them.
This is Collins dodging the alley, gets it back to Parity. Three seconds left of the shot clock. Shot off, and it comes away in the stick of the goalie Cutler.
The colors look a lot sharper in this second quarter than he did in the first, and the defense has tightened up a little bit, but Lenoir-Rhyne's been able to maintain this lead because their defense has been playing really well.
Some issues in the clear for both teams here. Jake Krotzer, the grad student out of Oneonta, New York, goes back to get it. Physical play. I believe they're going to get him for a ward and give Lenoir-Rhyne the ball here in the midfield. Krotzer, a captain for the Saints, described as the heart and soul of the team by head coach J.B. Clark. Guy had a chance to cover playing a number of sports in high school at Oneonta. A relatively small school in upstate New York, and he did a little bit of everything. Was a standout football player, also a wrestler and a lacrosse player there in Oneonta. Here's Reece. His pass deflected. Another whistle on the loose ball.
Yeah, we're going to get a push on Lenoir-Rhyne.
A little sloppiness here at the midway point of the second quarter.
Yeah, man, both teams struggling with ball control over the last couple minutes.
Remember, it's still early. Still just after 11:45 Eastern time, but with daylight savings, it's like a 10:45 a.m. game time for Limestone and Lenoir-Rhyne.
Yeah, you and I talked about it. We're adults. I told you the time change messed me up this morning.
Another save from Johnson. He got the coffee up and going early.
Yeah, this is tough, and you know you put a lot of stock in it because remember, I mean, these are college kids that are on schedules and they're not used to playing lacrosse in the morning like this. They're usually in class by now, and that's why the early afternoon games you see guys perform a little bit better. And you say, well, it's only like an hour or two difference, but that's a big difference. I mean, it's huge when you're normally used to doing something at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now you're doing it essentially technically at 10 o'clock in the morning with the time change. I mean, you lost an hour last night. So if you're normally used to going to bed at 11, you really went to bed at midnight.
Yeah,
you know,
it's tough.
Yeah.
Coaches urging their teams to go to bed earlier this week. I wonder how well that worked out. Here's Britt feeding on the doorstep. Good look there for CANATA. And the possession stays with the Bears. A fresh 80 seconds on the shot clock. Parity working for Max. He's seen a lot of run in this second quarter. Splits two and gets picked up by the long pole. Now CANATA, the freshman, already with a pair, looking for three. Hit a helmet in front.
Yeah, that hit somebody before it got to the goal. So we got a flag down.
Got a technical foul. White 2. Interference on the cutter, 30 seconds.
Another 30-second penalty, this time against Max Butler for Limestone.
You see him right there. He said, no, he had a full swing on him. That wasn't just a little love tap there by Max Butler.
Another man-up opportunity for Lenoir-Rhyne. So far, haven't done much with the extra man.
Yeah, neither team has been successful on the man-up so far.
Skip pass down low, and there's an extra man goal. It's BOWEN Collins on the doorstep.
We've got a Lenoir-Rhyne goal. Score number 8, BOWEN Collins.
So look at this again on the reset. Here's Moffitt kind of going away from the play as he dumps it inside to BOWEN Collins, who's right in the teeth of that defense, and he had 3 guys right in front of him, but he was still able to get that shot off.
Face-off win here for Limestone. Good ground ball win by Jordan Storos.
Yeah, Storos is an excellent talent. He's a defender. You don't get a chance to talk about it as much because usually the guy that he's guarding very rarely touches the ball. But that's a kid's going to be a first-round pick in the National Lacrosse League.
Yes.
Indoor. He's an outstanding indoor player. Won a Man Cup with Peterborough last summer. Just a truly outstanding indoor talent.
Long stick midfielder of the year in the country a year ago. First team All-American. Backhand flip there from Stenard. That's Sundown there for the backup. Limestone continuing to try to battle back against this Bears squad that has been physical and tough against the Saints. Sundown dives the middle. We've got a flag down. Is that a crease violation? I can't tell.
Well, it was a push with possession for sure. So take a look at it again. So beautiful swim move. And you get the push there. Yeah, that's going to be a push with possession, so that's where the flag goes. Oh, it's...
That is a 1-minute locked-in penalty.
Wow, unreleasable is, yeah.
Dane, stay, good. That's it. Call is on Black. Black, number 11. Torres, illegal body check. 1 minute, 1 minute.
An illegal body check
Got a penalty.
on Linklater, the junior from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
And he had, up until that moment, had played really good defense
Yes.
on Sundown. He had poked the ball away right before the start of that last offensive set right there. But Limestone 0 for 3 on the man up so far today.
Came into the game sitting as one of the best man-up units in the country, 7 for 8. That shot wide from Rogers. Golden opportunity for the Saints to maybe even get a couple back with the 1-minute unreleasable penalty.
Yeah, this is a huge moment for Limestone. But knowing that too, you don't want to rush it. You want to make sure you get a quality shot.
Step down, shot to score. A little riser for the Saints, and they're back within 2. Clark Walters, second of the day.
That's exactly what we're talking about. Be patient, wait for the right opening, and then go ahead and tee it
Got a
up.
Limestone goal. Score number 17.
So the pass to Walter.
Second on the afternoon.
Take a look at Walter off ball right there. He was already getting set for that shot, and he bounces it
Walter from Rogers.
right off the carpet.
Second.
It's a beautiful use of the turf.
Lenoir-Rhyne 7, Limestone 5.
Yeah, nice pass by Grant Rogers. They still have some time left on this penalty where they can get another goal. And a procedure on Limestone.
Another 30-second penalty coming for the Saints.
So that wipes out their man-up opportunity.
White, 33. Illegal procedure, lifting the stick with his arm. 30 seconds, 30 seconds.
On Limestone, player number 1. A 30-second technical for illegal procedure. 30 seconds.
So you heard them say that he was trying to lift his opponent's stick. J.B. Clark there trying to get a little more explanation there.
So we should be 5-on-5 here. Before Linklater comes out of the box for Lenoir-Rhyne. CANATA being pressed out. By Bennett Nesbitt, the short stick defensive midfielder for the Saints. Parody has it poked away. Nice defensive play by Matthew Plank, but Parody able to track down the ground ball. Good pressure from Limestone here. So now we are, as Lenoir-Rhyne brings a man back on, we now should be 6-on-6.
Yeah, both penalties have expired now, so we're back to even strike for both sides.
That shot knocked down before it got to the cage. Good heads-up play on the sideline by CANATA, but it's moved over the sideline, a turnover to give it to Limestone. And we've got a timeout on the field. Reminder, coming up later on this afternoon, the crown jewel of the Crown Lacrosse Classic. Number 2 Penn State against number 5 Cornell, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on Lax Sports Network and on the FTF Next app. 2 top 5 programs going at it, 2 teams expecting to be in the conversation for championship weekend at the end of the year. A gigantic battle, one of the best of the weekend in all levels, coming your way today, 4 p.m. Eastern, right here, LaxSportsNetwork.com and the FTF Next app. And that game, Brendan, is just gigantic between these 2 programs. Of course, Jeff Tambroni, the former head coach at Cornell about 10 years ago, moving to Penn State. You have that storyline, 2 of the best offensive talents in the country. No shortage of things to talk about.
Oh, my God. It's going to be an epic game at 4 o'clock to finish off this week. We got a great game too, a women's game, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, coming up after this one as well that we have. But 2 top 5 teams, both these teams, Final Four aspirations. Penn State was there last year. People expected Cornell to be there last year. They didn't even make the tournament, but they came back. They are stacked, and you mentioned it's not just like one star. There are lots of stars on both sides of the field, and even young stars as well. I mean, we saw Cornell a couple weeks ago against Towson. Michael Long had a breakout game in that game, and it was interesting because Pete Milliman told us 2 days before, he said, if you're going to buy some stock in a kid, buy some Michael Long stock. And you and I were like, okay,
sure, yeah.
And then he went off, and then we talked to Milliman the other day, and we said, hey, coach,
you called it.
You were right out. We wish we could have, if there was a way to actually buy stock in college lacrosse players, because you and I would be rich right now. But it's going to be a fantastic game, and so much on the line for those 2 teams in the non-conference.
Another marquee opportunity for both teams to try to grab a top 5 win.
And for Penn State, that'll be their 3rd straight top 5 team that they're playing.
Meanwhile, here, under a minute to go in the first half, Limestone looking to get another back, and they do. It's Walter completing the first half hat trick, and the Saints are back within 1.
Clark Walters really had a solid first half with the unassisted goal. So here he starts from up top. He's got that lefty cradle, realizes he's got an opportunity to get a screen from LARSON SUNDOWN. And LARSON SUNDOWN actually on that play shielded 3 different defenders for Clark Walter to go by.
You see it right there. He's the preseason Division II Player of the Year, named by U.S. Lacrosse Magazine coming into this season. So impressive considering you have LARSON SUNDOWN also on your team. 2 dynamic stars for this Saints program. A whistle, violation on Lenoir-Rhyne, and so Limestone, 40 seconds, plenty of time to try to get 1 more here at the end of the half.
You mentioned about Clark Walter being Player of the Year, LARSON SUNDOWN. I mean, what about Tyler Papa? I mean, you can't leave him out too.
No, they've got plenty of star power to go around as Limestone calls a timeout here late in the first half. Wanted to talk things over with 35 seconds left to go. And this is a game that, for the most part, has been in the control of Lenoir-Rhyne's hands. They jumped out to a 3-0 lead, have led by 3 goals for differing parts of this first half. But you look at Limestone, a chance to get right back in this, sitting at 4-0 on the season so far. You take a look at how they've gotten here. It's been an impressive array of high-scoring games. They've put up 20-plus goals twice already, beating Lees McRae and St. Leo by putting up 25 and 23, averaging over 20 goals per game. They are an impressive program down south in Division II.
Yeah, and you see their upcoming schedule. They got Wingate on that, and Belmont Abbey's playing really well. So, I mean, this is not an easy schedule for Limestone. You saw when we just had up from the recap of last year. I mean, they went all the way to the national championship game and just lost to a Division I caliber Merrimack team who's now in Division I.
Winning games in Division I.
Winning games in Division I, no less, yes. And, I mean, this is a program that we talked about over the years has just been so good, and they always find so many stud offensive players. I mean, we've just talked about it. I mean, you look down the sheet and Clark Walter, Player of the Year. I mean, he's the 4th leading scorer on this team, 5th leading scorer
it's true.
on this team.
Limestone program that actually will be in the same conference as Lenoir-Rhyne starting next year. The Saints moving to the South Atlantic Conference for the 2020-2021 school year. It's a conference that Limestone's football team already plays in. Now the rest of the sports in the athletic department moving over. So makes this game even more interesting because Lenoir-Rhyne knows not only is this a non-conference opponent that we've been playing for the last couple years, but now we're going to get a team that's one of the best in the country that's joining our league and going to be a conference foe.
Yeah, and these guys are going to have some great regular season matchups, and it's one of those things where they're going to play in the regular season. They're probably going to play in the postseason too.
It could be fun.
It's going to really turn into a fun rivalry.
Here's Walter. Dishes down on the doorstep. Rogers has it kicked away. And Lenoir-Rhyne a chance with 20 seconds to go in the half.
And Rogers got popped right as he was about to shoot that. Great play defensively.
Parity hounded by Walter, but keeps. Moves along. Down to 7 seconds to go in the half. You got to go quickly. Dickinson down to the doorstep. Moffitt can't collect. And Lenoir-Rhyne will have to settle for a 1-goal lead as Moffitt and company. A couple of words here at the end of the half. Well, it's been an entertaining one so far here outside Charlotte, North Carolina. Back here at Huff High School in Cornelius, North Carolina, just outside Charlotte. Third quarter about to get underway. The Crown Lacrosse Classic here on Lax Sports Network. The 10th ranked Lenoir-Rhyne Bears with a 1-goal lead over top-ranked Limestone through 30 minutes. Travis Eldridge and Brendan McDaniels back with you on LSN. In case you're just joining us, let's take a look back at some of the first half highlights of this one. It started off with a great start, Brendan, for Lenoir-Rhyne.
Lenoir-Rhyne came out hot. They scored the first 3 goals of the game, and you saw they kept feeding from the left side right here, hitting those whistlers. And then the one right down the alley, just a beautiful goal by BRYCE REECE, the freshman. Then Will CANATA got a couple right there.
2 goals in the first
inside.
half for him. Yeah, it really had it all going, and a lot of it working outside and then inside. Had a couple of 3-goal runs for the Bears to take at one point, a 3-goal lead in that second quarter, but the top team in the country not going away.
Absolutely not. You see the first goal right there, a beautiful one by Tyler Papa, and they just started attacking, and LARSON Sundown getting in the act, getting inside and tiptoeing that crease, and then Sundown on the beautiful feed by the cutting Stenard. And now Clark Walter had 3 goals in the first half. Beautiful hand switch right there, right to left at the end. He scored the last 2 goals of the game, made it 7-6 Lenoir-Rhyne. But this has been a great game so far.
And that was a big momentum shift for this Saints team, being able to bounce back, score a couple there late in the second quarter, make this a 1-goal game at the break, because for the most part, the Bears have had pretty comfortable leads so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is one where, I mean, Lenoir-Rhyne got off to a really good start. We mentioned 3-0, and they were up 5-2 at the end of the first quarter. They're really clicking on all cylinders, and then Limestone was able to really get in there and come back, and they scored 3 of the last 4 goals of the first half, and they were creating some opportunities off of turnovers, and that ended up being really huge for them. And now the thing is can they sustain it? Can they get back in there? Can Gary Cutler, can he cut down on some of those shots that he saw in the first half? And he did a good job. He only gave up 2 goals in the second quarter, and they're going to need to continue that in the second half.
By the way, Noah Johnson, the starting goalie for Lenoir-Rhyne, really good in that first half as well. Came up with 8 saves, gave up just the 6 goals. Limestone would probably be leading in this game if not for some big stops from him. And this is a Bears team that likes to go back and forth between goalies. We have not seen Noah Lally yet today because Johnson has been that good.
Well, and we didn't see Lally last week till the last 9.5 minutes of the game. So, I mean, this is an opportunity for Noah Johnson to really establish himself, the sophomore from Georgia.
That's a face-off win for Lenoir-Rhyne, but a turnover gives it to Limestone, and they'll get the first possession of the second half.
Yeah, and this Lenoir-Rhyne defense played really, really well in the first half. They played some big boy defense at times, and see if they stay like that and they stay aggressive, because that was one of the things that was giving Limestone fits, is how aggressive they were playing.
This is Dorian Faster on the run. Bounce shot goes. Limestone ties it up.
That's their 3rd goal in a row going back to the first quarter. And Faster gets them on the board and ties it up. This is the first tie since the game started. We'll take a look at this again. And just a nice little shake and bake move right there, and gets himself into the middle of the field and takes that one low. And Johnson has to go down to his knees and slide. And that's a very tough save for a goalie to try to have to make. And Faster had 3 assists last week, gets on the board.
The second long-range bounce shot we've seen from Limestone. You have to wonder if that was something they saw in the scouting report on going against Johnson.
The same thing we were talking about with Cutler in the first half. And Lenoir-Rhyne was shooting high on Cutler, and now maybe that's the blueprint for Limestone.
And once again, another face-off win for the Bears, but they turn it over, and here comes Krotzer for Limestone.
Lenoir-Rhyne, they turned the ball over 7 times in the first quarter, and a lot of those were in the second quarter when they got a little bit sloppy with the ball. And you don't want to give Limestone free possessions here.
Limestone has not led in this game. They've trailed since the very beginning. Faster down the alley. Now Walter, little shimmy shake, bounce shot wide. He probably wants to have that one back. That was a good look.
Yeah, he had a great move, and then the shot just wasn't there.
Tyler Papa had a goal in the first half. He's always dangerous. Under 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Papa jump shot. And still 15 seconds to operate. LARSON SUNDOWN's going to go get it.
Yeah, this is LARSON Sundown territory. You want to make sure he has the ball in his hands, because he can create from behind.
Sundown near side. Tough angle. It resets the shot clock.
Yeah, just didn't quite get upfield as much as he should have, and that was almost right on line with the goal.
And that is a loose ball whistle on Lenoir-Rhyne. Keeps it with Limestone and a fresh 80 seconds to operate. Faster. All the way through. Another one goes. Dorian Faster cannot be slowed down.
And Limestone has their first lead of the contest. Just 2.5 minutes in, and Faster with 2 in a row. Just a nice looking move, and got himself inside. Beats the second slide coming in, and just puts that right behind the hip of Johnson. Johnson guessed high, and Faster held, waited for Johnson to commit, and as soon as Johnson got in the air, he knew he had the easy shot.
The junior from New Freedom, Pennsylvania, with a pair of goals here to start the second half, and the Saints have their first lead. Once again, Lenoir-Rhyne winning the faceoff. Now let's see if they can actually get a possession out of it. That's been the issue here to start the second half. Linklater able to get it into the offensive end for the Bears. Now we see how Lenoir-Rhyne answers. The team that in beating Adelphi last week rallied in the second half. They went down 4-0, 9-4, but able to score 9 second half goals to come back and beat Adelphi.
Almost the exact opposite of what Limestone's doing today. Limestone got down 3-0 early. They were down 5-2, 7-4.
Found their way back. Here's Eric Dickinson. Top scorer on this Bears team has been held quiet so far. No points for Lenoir-Rhyne. This one over and back. A turnover gives it to Limestone. Quick restart. We got a flag down, so free possession, and they cash in. Rogers with his first of the day. A 2-goal lead for the Saints.
That all was a product of LARSON SUNDOWN off the top, just breaking out from midfield after the over and back call. Got it quickly up to Grant Rogers, who gets his first of the day. We'll check the penalty.
LARSON SUNDOWN. Rogers from Sundown at 11:30.
Okay, so wipes the penalty out with the goal. Just a minor infraction, but the goal was scored, so wave that off. We'll play 6-on-6, go back to the X.
So 3 unanswered goals here to start the second half by Limestone as LARSON SUNDOWN gets his 3rd assist of the day. He's up to 4 points on the Rogers goal. A face-off win here for Kirsch Downs.
That was a great rip right away. So I think we're gonna have offsetting penalties here between both face-off guys.
You can hear the officials. They're not taking anything from these guys today.
Black, 11. Unnecessary roughness, 1 minute. White, 41. Also unnecessary roughness, also 1 minute. Both penalties are full time.
So Mitchell Linklater and Dakota Kirsch Downs are going to sit for a minute, no matter what happens. Officials saying everybody needs to settle down.
Yeah, they're going at it the entire time down the field. So the officials want to make sure that this game doesn't get out of hand.
Can't blame them. Both these programs know each other pretty well, playing quite frequently. Lenoir-Rhyne just 1-7 all time against Limestone. That win coming 2 years ago in 2018. The biggest in program history for the Bears, knocking off then #1 Limestone. How about Tyler Papa? Somehow keeps possession. Backhand shot is deflected. Rebound saved.
Yeah, Rogers got that rebound and his shot got blocked, and we're gonna have a hold.
I don't know how Tyler Papa got through all of that traffic and the hold and kept possession.
It's because he's a big dude.
Technical foul. Black, 10. Hold, 30. 10 black, hold, 30.
Tyler Bain now to the box.
30 seconds.
So there's 19 seconds left on the original offsetting penalties to Linklater and Kirsch Downs.
We've got 5-on-4 Lacrosse for 19 seconds. Rogers, long range rip. No backup for Limestone.
It's a big turnover for the Bears to force. They can kill this and wait for everybody to get back on and get 6-on-6.
Yeah, that's huge. Because that's a risky pass, and it's turned over around midfield. Good ground ball by Papa. So the man up continues here for Limestone.
Really sloppy in the midfield when you're man down. You can't afford to do that.
Extra man coming on for both. Still a man up for Limestone for another 11 seconds or so.
Papa was wide up on the backside. If that pass had gone through by Sundown, that would have been another goal.
And now we are back to even strength. Walter bodies his man, and a save Johnson stopping it, and Lenoir-Rhyne a chance to clear and try to settle things down here. This Bears team has played a lot of defense to start this second half.
You see Limestone, how aggressive they are on the ride. They really amped that up starting the second quarter.
Ben Josh, another one of the 5 or 6 short stick defensive midfielders that this Bears team will run, who brings it across midfield. Miles Moffitt, goal and assist for him. BRYCE REECE draws some attention. He's already got a couple of points, the freshman from New Jersey. Now Eccleston, tough angle off the pipe, and resets the shot clock, and Lenoir-Rhyne will keep possession.
Keller did a...
Excuse me, they will not keep possession. Go on the crease.
Yep.
And issues in the clearing game again for Limestone. Ball still loose. And hustle play here for Lenoir-Rhyne. It's Collins going back to get it. Lenoir-Rhyne needs an answer here. 5 unanswered goals for Limestone. BRITTON, doorstep. Good catch and a pretty finish. TORON Eccleston, a little hitch, and he's got his second of the day. It's a 1-goal game.
Lenoir-Rhyne goals for number 19, TORON Eccleston.
Take a look at this again. You see BRITTON streaking down the field. Sees Eccleston and didn't get a clean catch on that, but he was able to grab his composure, get it back, and he had 4 guys all within about 2 feet from him, and he was able still to get that shot off.
Eccleston coming off a career day with 3 goals against number 3 Adelphi last weekend. Got a pair so far this afternoon. And a face-off violation on Limestone. They've really struggled at the X in terms of the violations so far today.
That's 5 violations we've seen so far today. They served a couple penalties for him in the first half.
Yeah.
They started making that comeback a little bit once they cleaned up the face-off X.
See it there, Noah Flash, 13 of 20 on the face-off so far for Lenoir-Rhyne as that shot is high.
And Flash, he was 25 of 36 last week against Adelphi.
Dickinson's shot well off. Senior from Charlotte, North Carolina. He's been quiet, surprising. The top scorer on this Bears team. If you were to tell this coaching staff that they would be right there with Limestone with him with no points, I think they'd be surprised. Bounce shot just off. Liam McGrath getting a good look. Freshman from Halifax, Nova Scotia.
The Limestone has done an excellent job of keeping Dickinson in check, and not only keeping him in check, but not allowing him to get a lot of touches on the ball either. Max Butler has had that assignment quite a bit. You see Butler's back on him right now.
Down the alley, Dickinson just wide. And that got a piece of the goalie, so we'll reset the shot clock. Fresh 80 seconds for Miles Moffitt as he takes a shot high, no flag. Big opportunity here for Lenoir-Rhyne to tie things up. CANATA on the run. They've gotten some good looks in this possession.
Yeah, they've had a lot of quality opportunities, just haven't been able to bury it.
Dickinson backs down his man, a save there from Cutler. But another ground ball and another possession for Lenoir-Rhyne with the fresh 80-second shot clock. Let's try BRYCE REECE out of the midfield. He finally gets it to go. The Bears have bounced back. We're knotted at 9.
Continue to attack until you get it right. Persevering, they had a lot of shots on that possession. Didn't have a lot of good looks. Here's Reece. The slide comes, and he's just able to get that shot off and kind of wrap it around the defender that was coming to slide at him. BRYCE REECE, a nice-looking freshman. Not a big guy, only 5'8", 160, but he's got some power behind that shot.
Guy who was a three-sport star at Lenape High School in New Jersey. It's another face-off win here for Lenoir-Rhyne. Also played basketball and ran track when he was in high school. We're midway through this third quarter. First game of the Crown Lacrosse Classic just outside Charlotte, North Carolina. Travis Eldridge, Brendan McDaniels with you as Dickinson hits one off Cutler.
Yeah, Kendall Collins was guarding him and lost him for a second.
Miles Moffitt couldn't control, and Limestone scoops up the ground ball. A couple of top 10 Division II teams in action here to start the day at the Crown Classic, and it's been a good one so far. Lenoir-Rhyne has led by as many as 3 a couple of different times in this game, the 10th ranked team in the country. But Limestone responding with a 5-goal run, end of the first half into the second here as Walter shoots wide.
Yeah, Limestone caught Lenoir-Rhyne in a substitution change, and it was 6-on-5 for a moment. They had the open shot but couldn't connect.
LARSON Sundown looking to back down his man, draws the slide. Faster, now back to Papa. Tyler Papa. Faster off a helmet. Still plenty of time, 30 seconds of the shot clock. No reset since that never got to the goalie. Clark Walter rolls back. Bounce shot is well high, but it ends up in the stick of Sundown. Still plenty of time with under 20 seconds on this shot clock. Sundown rolling, shoots wide. Tyler Papa gonna have to go in a hurry. Using the body, has it stripped away. Good defense by the Bears.
Excellent defense by the Bears. You've seen Limestone get really a lot more aggressive since the end of the first quarter offensively, and they're now matching that intensity.
A turnover in the clear, though. Limestone with it. Quickly the other way.
Don't have anything, so they pull it out. That's now 15 turnovers by the Bears. It's amazing to think that they were a tie game and they've turned the ball over that many times.
On the flip side, Limestone with just 7 so far today. Another save from Johnson. That time he stopped Mike Carpenter. Noah Johnson now over double digits in saves. Man, you'd think what Limestone's lead could be if Noah Johnson hadn't had the game he's had so far.
He's been fantastic so far. I mean, it's a guy who had a decent game against Adelphi, not a great game. Gave up 12 goals, had 8 saves. Lally played the last 9.5 minutes of that game. But he's really stood up to this Limestone offense.
Mike Caholen fresh into the game. The sophomore strikes. The younger brother of Greg, who played at Virginia, was a standout for the Cavs. Seeing his first run, and he's got a goal.
Take a look at this, just nice stutter step there. Gets some space. Doesn't take the shot, cuts back upfield, gives himself a better opportunity, and whistles that right by the ear of Cutler. Kid had an outstanding high school career in upstate New York in the Rochester area, played at Mercyhurst, then transferred down here. I mean, talk about 2 great D2 programs, going from Mercyhurst to Lenoir-Rhyne now.
Now part of this third midfield unit that sees some offensively. Coach Paradine wanted to change things up, sends out the third midfield unit, and he gets a big goal as Lenoir-Rhyne takes a lead back.
He mentioned his brother Greg played at Virginia, has played in Major League Lacrosse for a little bit. Just an unbelievable talent, and family bloodlines keeping the lacrosse going at the college level.
Baster spinning away, moves it along to Papa. Now Walter, his first midfield unit. So difficult to defend. Then you got to deal with LARSON SUNDOWN working for Max. Scored 10 goals last week. Here, passes out to Faster. Limestone answers. Faster completing the second half hat trick.
Faster was a non-factor in the first half. Now comes in and scores 3 here in this third quarter and stops a 3-0 run. You see Sundown, the pass isn't great, but for Faster, kind of throws his timing off a little bit, which makes the goaltender wait a little bit longer for the shot. So after Limestone had reeled off 5 in a row, Lenoir-Rhyne got 3 back, and then Limestone now ties it up with that one from Faster.
Back and forth we go. Under 3 minutes to go in this third quarter. A great one to start the day at the Crown. Face-off win. Limestone stopped by Johnson.
Yeah, just stick to stick. Really didn't change his angle on that shot, and Johnson saw that all the way.
12 saves now for Noah Johnson for Lenoir-Rhyne. And Chris Britton brings it over and gets an offensive chance for the Bears. Will CANATA. He's got a couple of goals so far. His first midfield unit's been really good, and he's got a hat trick. A career high for the freshman.
Lenoir-Rhyne goal scorer number 7, Will CANATA. His third of the afternoon. Unassisted.
CANATA, just a great shot, puts his team back up. Beautiful stop and spin, wind up, and very little margin of error in that shot. Gets it just inside the crossbar. Beautiful play by the freshman.
Another one of those North Carolina kids making his way to Lenoir-Rhyne, and so far so good. This first midfield unit of CANATA, Britton, and Eccleston having a huge game so far. Face-off win, a shot wide. Back up there for Lenoir-Rhyne, they'll keep. We've got a new goalie in for Limestone.
This is Shane Howell. He's only played 21 minutes this year, faced 2 shots, gave up 2 goals. Excuse me, faced 4 shots, 2 goals, 2 saves.
So Gary Cutler pulled here in the second half for the top-ranked team in the country. Mentioned this first midfield unit. Combining so far for 6 goals and an assist, and then you add in this what the second midfield unit has done with this guy in BRYCE REECE along with BOWEN Collins. This has been where most of the offense has come from.
So 6 saves for Cutler, 11 goals allowed. So Howell, who hasn't played a ton, will get the opportunity now.
And another one goes for Lenoir-Rhyne. It's BOWEN Collins.
Lenoir-Rhyne goal scored by number 8.
So 3 of the last 4 by Lenoir-Rhyne. They go up by 2. BOWEN Collins has had a really solid afternoon. Goal line extended. Switches that ball at the last second. Squeaks it by Matthew Plank. There's not a lot of room there to take that shot, but he got just enough of it. He jabs that right foot out, gets himself a little better angle, sidearms it in for the goal.
The 36 seconds left to go in the third. Lenoir-Rhyne has taken a 2-goal lead. Looking to upset the #1 team in the country, but Walter answers. Clark Walter's got 4.
Limestone goal, score number 17, Clark Walter.
And you can't blink against this Limestone offense.
No, not at all. I mean, you think 30 seconds, all we got to do is hold him for 30 seconds. Easier said than done. As Clark Walter just comes down. He's such a big-bodied offensive star. Comes right down and rips that one in there. And we mentioned this was going to be a high-scoring game, and we got 23 goals, and we still have a whole quarter left to play.
Clark Walter, a 2-time All-American, also plays some face-off wings here as a midfielder, a glue guy as described by Coach J.B. Clark. And another face-off win and another chance here for Limestone. Under 15 seconds to go. Tyler Papa, under 6. Jump shot goes! Back-to-back goals in the final 30 seconds of the quarter for Limestone.
The Limestone goal, scored by number 15.
This is setting up to be an epic fourth quarter between these two powers.
Papa with 30.7 seconds.
So Papa just barreling his way, spins inside.
Face-off brought to you by Novon Health.
Man, Tyler Papa, a laser to the top shelf for his second. Now up to 18 goals on the season. Coming into this game, averaging 4 per contest. And hey, with what we've seen, 3 seconds enough to get a goal for either of these teams.
Well, yeah, that last one was quickly done by Chris Parrott off the quick face-off. Took about 10 seconds.
And we have a flag down on that, coming off of that face-off. Let's see what the call is before we go to break.
Just before
5 yards on the restart. All right. The end of the period, we have a technical foul. White, 7. Delay game, 30 seconds. 7 White. Delay game, 30.
30-second penalty on Limestone, so it'll be Lenoir-Rhyne who will start on the man up here in the 4th. And we're back here, a man-up opportunity for Lenoir-Rhyne to start this 4th quarter. A crease violation on the Bears, and they'll give it up. A 30-second man-up that Limestone can now kill. Start of the 4th quarter here at the Crown Lacrosse Classic. Game 1 of a big day of action outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Travis Eldridge and Brendan McDaniels back with you on LSN. A top 10 battle in Division II. That has been very good so far.
That penalty was on Jordan Storris, so it's big that Limestone was able not to have to play too much 5-on-6 defensively without their All-American defender.
Lenoir-Rhyne has led for a bunch of this game. Started up with a 3-0 lead. Limestone then able to take a lead, and then Lenoir-Rhyne grabs it back before Limestone scored 2 in the last 30 seconds of the 3rd quarter to get us knotted up at 12 apiece. Papa, he's got another. Tyler Papa's got a hat trick, and the dive is good.
Tyler Papa scored the last 2 goals in this game. The 3rd in a row by Limestone. Take a look at this again, and he gets a beat on his defender. Nobody comes to challenge him until Johnson comes out. Johnson comes out of his crease to try to defend that, and just guessed wrong. It's Papa, the full extension to get that goal in.
Tyler Papa coming into this game 2nd on the team with 19 points. He's now up to 22 with the hat trick, averaging 4 goals per game. Another face-off win for Limestone as the long stick midi, Max Butler, goes all the way back to the goalie with it, and now they'll look to clear. Got 6 seconds to get it over midfield here, Limestone does. And that is a failure to advance. You go all the way back, and you only got those first 20 seconds of the 80-second shot clock to get it over midfield, and they failed to do that.
which is a lot of time, but give Lenoir-Rhyne some credit on that ride. They really gave Limestone some problems. And those are the little plays that make a difference in the end of the game. You get an extra possession that you weren't expecting to have. Now what do you do with it?
CANATA has it taken away, but gets it right back.
And a great trail check.
He loses it, and we've got a flag down. Limestone gonna go into the box, man down. A good chance for the Bears to answer back here, start of the fourth.
30 seconds. 24 white, hold.
The hold on Connor Growler, the sophomore midfielder for the Saints.
Just let them know that we should not have had a reset on the shot clock on that one. We never had to change possession. Just tell them that. They'll know what we're talking about.
Some logistical things getting figured out there by the officiating crew.
So Lenoir-Rhyne 1 of 3 on the extra man today.
This would be a gigantic goal for the Bears. Not seen a lot from the attack unit so far for the Bears. Just a goal and an assist from Miles Moffitt. Otherwise, Edward Tate, Eric Dickinson without a point as Dickinson's stick was deflected on that shot.
Colby Lensing, the freshman from the Denver areas in the contest right now. He's playing down at that attack.
Step down, shot to score! It's Dickinson finally on the board.
Limestone has done a wonderful job all game long of...
Excuse me, it's Miles Moffitt, number 12, not 42, who put that one home.
Yeah, that's just a big, big goal for him, and they've kept Dickinson and Moffitt in check for the most part. See Moffitt just unleash that one. So Moffitt, that is his second. It's an even strength goal.
Moffitt, we talked about it in the open. 5 goals and an assist back in 2018 in the win over then #1 Limestone. Missed all of last year with an injury. He's been good this season so far, coming in with 24 points on the season.
Yeah, we mentioned he had 5 goals against Young Harris in the opener, who, by the way, as of yesterday, shut down the lacrosse program for the season. Crazy story.
Differences with a new coaching staff. One of the most unique stories we've seen in college lacrosse in a little while.
Yeah, apparently the players weren't happy with the new head coach and his philosophy and practice times, and the school said, hey, he's in charge, you guys aren't, and if you guys aren't going to play for him, we're not going to play at all. So they shut down the team for the rest of the season. School president came out with a statement yesterday.
Limestone goes back on the attack, now knotted up at 13 apiece. Tyler Papa, he's feeling it, feeds, doorstep, another goes. It's Gavin Kesselring. Limestone back on top.
So back and forth we go.
Limestone goal, scored by number 33.
Here's Papa coming down. Nice feed inside right at the goal line to Kesselring. And Kesselring just able to get that shot off before the defender comes. So Limestone has 3 of the last 4. It's just going back and forth like that. Lenoir-Rhyne goes on a run. Limestone goes on a run. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And another flag.
Man, even Limestone has had all sorts of issues with the face-off today.
Yeah, uncharacteristic how many delay of games they've had in violations.
He had the multiple, after the 3 violations, we had multiple flags on Limestone at the face-off X in the first half, and now we've gotten to that point here in the start of the 4th quarter.
Really a rare sight on the faceoffs.
And you look at both of the guys that they use at the X, they're both really good. They're both over 66% on the year.
Well, Dakota Kirsch Downs came in 41 of 55.
Oh,
And Parrott came in,
75%.
yeah, Parrott came in 36 of 54. I mean, these are good faceoff guys.
Struggling so far today. Another man up for the Bears as they look to bounce back.
But credit Noah Flash. He's really been giving them fits today. He's been great at the X today, as he was last week and all season.
No look pass. Dickinson's shot is blocked. Good hustle play by Dickinson to get possession. He keeps it. Just a couple more seconds on this man-up opportunity. Moffitt. Penalties released.
Hey, Jared! Warren's first. Jared, go slide off pipe. Hey, we got 30 on the shot clock.
Lenoir-Rhyne. About 5 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. Looking to answer Limestone's goal. We've gone back and forth to start this final frame. Here's BRYCE REECE. Feeds. Shot and another score! Miles Moffitt starting to feel it.
2 in a row for Moffitt. Now he has a hat trick. This game is going to come right down to the end between these two teams. See the hesitation by Moffitt. Takes a couple steps upfield to give himself a better opportunity, better lane to shoot. And he beats Howell high. Off stick side.
And BRYCE REECE with the assist, matching his career best 4 points from last week against number 3 Adelphi. He's now got 2 goals and a couple of helpers.
As he did last week. He had a couple goals and a couple assists last week. I mean, he's a really good-looking freshman.
Here is a face-off win for the Saints. See if we can keep this trend going. It's been Limestone goal, Lenoir-Rhyne answers so far in this fourth quarter.
It's a really good chess match right now between these two teams. Great start to this Crown Classic.
Is faster going downhill. Back to Walter, saved by Johnson. Rebound to Papa. Papa stopped as well. Noah Johnson continues to stonewall Limestone.
Yeah, he's given up 14 goals, but make no mistake, he has kept his team in this game. He has individually made some unbelievable saves that lesser goalies would have let through.
100%. He is well into double digits in saves here this afternoon. And Lenoir-Rhyne a chance to come back and take a lead.
14 saves, 14 goals against, right at 50%. I mean, in a game against the #1 team in the country, if you said, if my goalie can give me 50%, I will take that, and I'll take my chances.
Yeah, you think about the high-powered offense he's facing today. That is more than enough. In traffic, a finish. Oh, what a catch by Liam McGrath. The guy out of the Hill Academy gives the Bears the lead.
Haven't seen McGrath much this game so far. Another freshman, originally from Halifax, Nova Scotia. You see BRITTON finds him right in the middle. Takes that shot, just kind of throws an overhand, just kind of dumps it in there. His hometown just got themselves a pro lacrosse team, the Halifax Thunderbirds. You and I were talking about the Thunderbirds before the game. I mean, what
a start to their first season in franchise history.
Yeah, I mean, in the attendance, I mean, people have been coming out in Halifax to watch that team, and they've been enjoying it because the Thunderbirds are one of the best teams in lacrosse.
Loose ball hold here gives the possession back to Limestone. Back and forth we go. Already 5 goals in this fourth quarter. We're not even reaching the midway point. Sammy Thomaloris, part of the second line midfield for the Saints, takes his man behind. I think one of the impressive things from both these teams is the variety of scorers. lot of guys getting involved.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of second line goals, some third line goals.
Mike Carpenter ends up in the crease. And we'll give it to Lenoir-Rhyne. So a stop for the Bears defense. And now the offense goes back to work. Edward Tate. And you talk about the midfield production for Lenoir-Rhyne. Hat trick for CANATA. Eccleston a pair. Reece with 4 points. Collins with 2. Cajolan got into the scoring. I mean, a really impressive midfield performance for this Bears squad. Pass across, another goal. It's a 2-goal lead as Edward Tate is in the score sheet.
Another player, Edward Tate, the senior from Austin, Texas. His first opportunity today, but the feed from Eccleston.
Another midfielder.
And look at the footwork right there. Make sure he doesn't step in the crease. Holds his footing. You see Tate has been productive in his 36 games. Lenoir-Rhyne now scored 3 for the last 5.
If you think this game is over and you're just joining us, it's not. There have been 2-goal swings, 3-goal swings, back and forth, but the Bears, another face-off win and a chance to operate once more. Is Edward Tate finding some newfound confidence after that goal.
Yeah, let's see if they take a little bit of air out of the ball too and try to work this clock a little bit. Keep in mind, Limestone scored 2 goals in the last 35 seconds of the third quarter.
It can happen in a hurry for both of these programs. This is what we expected in talking to both coaching staffs this week. They said we both play very similarly. We like to get up and go. We like to score a lot of goals. A 16-14 score right in the ballpark of what we were expecting. Jump shot saved. The first stop for our new keeper in Sean Howell, a important one as Limestone a chance to clear.
Yeah, Howell let in the first 4 shots he faced. By the way, that's now 98 shots between these two teams.
Just a couple. Transition chance for Limestone if they won. Instead, they're gonna settle things down. Kesselring trying to get the ball on the stick of Sundown, but Sundown, as you can see, being shut off.
No, and that's a smart move by the Bears.
Daring Papa to beat him here. What are we gonna get? A crease or a push?
Crease violation before the push. So once again for the Bears, once they get it over, let's see if they try to squeeze a minute off of this clock.
Dickinson. They're not wasting any time. The Bears are up 3.
Nope, they're going to keep attacking. Pirati and the Bears sideline, they can start to feel it. Tons of time left though. Excellent transition. And Pirati winds up. You see a torque on his stick. Gets that little bit of a bend because he shot that so fast.
Eric Dickinson getting into the scoring with an assist. And Lenoir-Rhyne knows you can't really slow down against Limestone because they have the ability to score in bunches, so they're just going to keep on moving.
Don't take your foot off the gas pedal. We saw them slow it down the possession before that, but this time in transition, they had the opportunity, and they took advantage.
Trent Kellner, the short stick D-midi, getting a ground ball for Limestone.
It's a big face-off win, and Kellner gets the ball and holds the possession for his team.
Under 6 minutes to go here, the first game of the Crown Lacrosse Classic outside Charlotte, North Carolina. Number 10, Lenoir-Rhyne, looking to knock off number 1, Limestone. Travis Eldridge and Brendan McDaniels with you here on LSN. Down the stretch we go. It has been back and forth throughout. Here's the midfielder, Dorian Faster. He's got a couple of goals. That one saved by Johnson.
Johnson coming up big again in this fourth quarter.
I like what you see there for the Bears. You maybe had a long pull opportunity, knowing, all right, maybe this isn't the time for that. Time for, if you get a good quality shot early in a shot clock, okay, but don't force it, especially when you've got a fresh 80 seconds.
Yeah, this is the opportunity now where you're coaching this team and you're giving the 90% speech. If you think you have a 90% chance of scoring, take the shot. If you feel your odds are under 90%, pull it back out.
I like that, 90%.
But of course, a college kid's version of 90% opportunity is a lot different from a coach's 90% opportunity.
Slightly different. BRYCE REECE, trouble with it. Big ground ball, won by Limestone. It's Kronzer. Great heady play by him. Let's see if they go quickly. They do. Long pull opportunity, just went through the stick of Sturos.
Sturos had an opportunity right there, and he can score.
Here comes REECE, unsettled. Dickinson finishes. It's a 4-goal lead for Lenoir-Rhyne. And they can smell the upset.
How about Dickinson? He has been held quiet till about a minute and a half ago, and now he's got a goal and an assist. And a 4-goal advantage for Lenoir-Rhyne. Very important face-off.
Give the assist to BRYCE REECE. He's now got a career best 5 points, the freshman from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Picked a really good time to have
I think there's
a
going to
really
be a hold
good
on.
game.
There's a hold on Kirsch Downs.
And another possession for Lenoir-Rhyne as we're under 4 minutes to go. This is Lenoir-Rhyne's largest lead of the day. It's at 4.
But keep in mind, there's 3.5 minutes. In lacrosse, that's an eternity. This game is far from over for both sides. If you're Limestone, you still got a chance. If you're Lenoir-Rhyne, right now, we talked about you're going to milk some clock here. Make them come out and defend you.
At stake for this Bears program, a chance to win their second straight game over a top 3 team. They beat number 3 Adelphi last week. Here, a feed is knocked down, scooped up by the goalie, and here come the Saints. And
a late flag came out.
There was no call originally.
Yeah, there's a late flag for a trip.
Yeah.
So Limestone will go up on the man up.
See off there in the distance, by the way, Syracuse's women's team getting going. Good Division I women's battle between Syracuse and Virginia Tech, the second game of this triple header in Charlotte.
42, trip, 1 minute. 42 black, trip, 1 minute.
So it's on
Dickinson.
So take a look at it again, and
he's got his feet tangled.
yeah, I mean it's being aggressive. It wasn't intentional, but it doesn't matter. You see him pound the turf because he knows you don't want to let Limestone back in this game. You don't want to allow them to get this goal here. This next minute is big for Limestone. They can get a goal here, they've got life. If they come up empty-handed, it's probably over.
The Limestone man-up unit that was so efficient entering the game. They've struggled a bit today. Walter shoots wide.
So keep an eye. LARSON SUNDOWN has not touched the ball in quite some time. They're going to let him start it off.
This time triggering things for Max. Outside, shot to score! Limestone's got life. It's Tyler Papa with his 4th.
And that's why I mentioned you want to get your best player to get the ball in his hands. And you start that ball off with Sundown, your leading scorer, and he passes it to his second leading scorer. You want to talk about precision. Look where that shot placement is. Right in that upper corner of the cage. There's still life. There's 2.5 minutes, a lot of time, but they got to win the faceoff, and we've seen this struggle on the faceoff so far today.
Yeah, Noah Flash for Lenoir-Rhyne's been great.
And a procedure
but he
now
went
on
too
Flash.
fast. With a name like Flash, you got to be quick, but just not that fast.
Not that fast.
Remember, Limestone at the end of the third quarter scored 2 goals in under 30 seconds. So they can score quickly and in a hurry. Jump shot just high from Papa.
Looked like that might have just grazed the crossbar. Lenoir-Rhyne's going to call a timeout.
Lenoir-Rhyne. As LARSON Sundown was getting ready to trigger things in there. In this game would be a very different game if not for the play of Noah Johnson in goal for Lenoir-Rhyne. He's given up 15 goals, but he already has also made 15 saves. He has been stellar. It's not often as a goalie you can say, I gave up 15 goals and I played well. He can say that today.
He absolutely can. I mean, he's made, you see that, getting down low, getting a chip on that shot. Player coming out for Max, getting low again, sweeping across the crease. He's made some big saves, and this is a team that scores more than 20 goals a game. He's holding them to 15. We say holding them to 15, but this is the #1 team in the country. You see that 15 saves on 30 shots, and you're right. Normally when you look at that and you go, okay, he gave up 15 goals, made 15 saves. That's average at best. No, this has been an outstanding performance by Noah Johnson.
And I think the perfect show of how impressive he's been is the fact that they've got another goalie in Noah Lally, a sophomore from South Carolina, that they feel really good about, who splits a lot of time with Noah Johnson, but we have not seen Lally yet today because Johnson has been that good, an impressive performance for his head coach, Greg Paradine.
And nor have we thought about him coming in.
Yeah,
like there's not been a time where we've said, you know what, they might want to think about changing the goalies. Johnson has stood up in this game.
LARSON Sundown starts with it for Limestone. Here's Walter. He's been good in this second half. Sundown gets his man to fall down. Pass across. Somehow, did it go in?
I think that went in.
It did. It hit the back of the cage. Back-to-back goals for Limestone. They're within 2.
At the initial look, I thought that it had gone off the bottom crossbar. On the replay, you'll see that.
If you didn't put this home, I don't know what it would have hit.
Yeah, it's hard to see that on the replay, but I mean, when you looked at it live, it looked like it hit the bottom and zipped right back out. So Kesserling will get credited with a goal.
That's his second of the day.
Not over yet.
Under 2 minutes to go. Limestone back within 2. So each face-off becomes that much more important.
That's why, like in lacrosse, you don't have alternate possession, so you can make a comeback when you're 4 goals down with a couple minutes left.
And we've got another face-off win for the Saints. Here comes Tyler Papa, dodging downhill to Walter. Hand free, stopped by Johnson.
And Johnson out of the crease. Limestone players looking for a flag. They're looking for a push with possession.
This is a big call.
I think they're saying that someone was in the crease. See Sundown right there trying to plead, and now we get a late flag.
This is a huge point in this game with 1:25 to go. Limestone had a chance to get this thing back within 1. Instead, they may be going man down.
Got a personal foul. Black, 44, late hit, 1 minute.
Oh,
Black, late
wow.
hit, 1 minute.
That's a late hit on Jared Mabarak, the sophomore defenseman for Lenoir-Rhyne. And there it is.
Yeah, right there. Yep.
Excuse me. Sorry, number 10, Tyler Bain is it looked like was the guy who came in. Goes up against number 44 in black. Either way, it's a 1 minute extra man here for Limestone. A golden opportunity for the Saints. Jump shot wide.
Gut check time for the Bears defense here, man down.
LARSON Sundown quickly triggers. Shot is kicked away. Still time for this Limestone offense as we go toward a minute to go. Down by 2. Clark Walter just missed.
Oh, so close right there. Have another whistle behind the play.
Go ahead. Did you guys see what happened? For how long? From the very start, or did it stop mid-possession?
It never started.
Hold on, coach.
We got a clock issue. And so we're going to try to iron this out. Obviously,
25, how much ran off? Do you have any, the 15 seconds? Okay.
Come on, guys.
Run down the shot clock. We're going to take off the game clock.
so the game clock never started.
15. They want to run 15 seconds out.
So Limestone's going to lose 15 seconds of the game clock because it never started. So we're going to be under a minute to go.
So for Coach Paradine, this is taking forever. Like, he's so close to getting a huge win here. So you heard him say there, you should run at least 30 off. He's not going to get that.
So we're down to 53 seconds on the game clock. See if they do anything with the shot clock. They will not. So Limestone to trigger things in. Still man up, down by 2. Walter had another good look, but he couldn't catch it. Goes back to get the ground ball. Now Papa. Feeds the doorstep. Rogers couldn't catch. Good active sticks for the Bears, and Johnson with it.
Rogers would have had a excellent look at the cage had that come cleanly. Now Lenoir-Rhyne's just going to play keep away.
We're back to even strength. Linklater, described to us as one of the fastest players in Division II, pushed out of bounds.
And
Limestone
no push.
gets it back.
Not done yet.
The Saints, one last effort here as they send it to the other end, and that was just a prayer. Johnson.
They're telling him to send it, throw it away.
Here's
Throw
2
it away.
seconds. Upset complete. For the second time in 2 weeks, Lenoir-Rhyne has knocked off a top 3 team. This time the Bears topple number 1. The second time in 3 years that Lenoir-Rhyne has upset number 1 Limestone in the regular season.
And this is a full team win. They got great goaltending from Noah Johnson. Excellent face-off play by Noah Flash. Good, solid defense against a tough Limestone offense that was averaging more than 20 goals a game. And their offense to put up 18 against a very good Limestone defense. And they spread the ball around. It wasn't just one guy. You look at their 18 goals. It wasn't one guy that had 6 or 7. They had a couple guys with 3, a couple guys with 2, a couple guys with 1, and especially at the end with Parati, Tate, McGrath, getting all those guys involved in the 4th quarter. An excellent win by Lenoir-Rhyne.
Another statement victory for this program. That win back in 2018 over Limestone, described as the largest in program history. Put this one up there as well after they knocked off number 3 Adelphi. We may be looking at a top 3 team in the polls come next week.
They absolutely have to be top 3. I would even say depending on
number 1.
Depending on the outcome of the Lemoyne game. If Lemoyne doesn't play well, I wouldn't be shocked if you make that jump. I mean, this team has made a statement.
So it brings us to an end of game 1 of the Crown Lacrosse Classic. A reminder, we will be back with you 4 p.m. Eastern here on Lax Sports Network. Another classic in store. Number 2 Penn State against number 5 Cornell, two of the best offensive players in the country, Grant Ament and Jeff Teat, doing battle. 4 p.m. Eastern. Be right back with us here, Lax Sports Network and the FTF Next app. But for once again, our final score from outside Charlotte, North Carolina, Lenoir-Rhyne 18, Limestone 16. Thank you for watching Game 1 of the Crown Lacrosse Classic here on Lax Sports Network. For Brendan McDaniels, our producer Dylan Hand, and our entire crew, I'm Travis Eldridge. We'll see you at 4 p.m. Eastern, but for now, we say so long from Charlotte.